too bad.
Yeah, wiped out a nice gain by Lewis.
And Donnie, Keller has changed quarterbacks. Number 10, Craig Rogers, is now the quarterback. And he gives to Carlton Calvin, and Calvin gets 3 to the 33-yard line to bring up 2nd down and 7. And apparently, Matt Isles a little ineffective in the early going for head coach Jerry Sanders. He makes the quarterback change in the 2nd quarter.
That's right, and Craig Rogers is the young man we had listed on our graphic screen as the starting quarterback.
6 foot, 172-pound senior for Keller. Comes to the line, 2nd down and 7 with 10:41 to go 2nd quarter. Raiders 7, Indians no score. Rogers is going to be thrown for a loss. Scott Saltzman just barreling it from his defensive end spot. Back to the 27-yard line for a loss of 6 will bring up 3rd and 16. 3rd and 14.
Saltzman, 6'2", 246 pounds, a junior.
And he's only going to get better.
How you like that face mask?
Yeah, I like it a lot. He won't get hit any fingers in the eyes that way. They'll spot the ball at the 27, so now it is 3rd and 13 for Keller. Riders defense rising to the occasion. Rogers rolling out to the right side. Takes a hit from Blackman, completes his pass to number 84, Ramirez, down the left sideline, and a tackle at the 46-yard line by Scott Avery saves the touchdown.
Now, they set the screen up real well that time, and if you see the replay, you're going to see pressure coming for the backside. 15, Matthew Blackman, and that's exactly where the screen goes. Now, top of your screen, watch Blackman. You see him? Rogers turns, throws tight end screen. Now watch. Good block there, and Avery makes the stop for Ryder.
You know, you kind of get the feeling that if Blackman had raised his hands, he might have been able to knock that ball down. At the 49-yard line is where they call it. Calvin gets the call and gets 3 to the 46. Calvin working in the backfield now with Chad Sanders, and Calvin is the lead running back now for Keller. 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard pickup.
Moving him back between fullback and tailback. We're talking about Carlton Calvin, 6 foot, 203 pounds, a senior.
At the 46-yard line, double wideouts on the left side. Rogers drops to throw. We'll set the little flip pass out to Sanders, and Sanders gets about 5 to the 41-yard line, and then is run out of bounds by Hickman, by Owens, and by Freeman. David Freeman, 53.
The Raider welcoming committee right there to greet him, as Rich told you, at the 41-yard line, and they did deliver a blow, those two guys.
3rd down 2. Rogers will send Carlton Shearer, number 44, out wide to the left side, and Anthony Seaton will slot on inside left. Calvin leads Sanders, and Sanders will get the ball. Sanders comes to the right side. 1st down across the 39, where he needed to get to around the 38 or 37-yard line. Another 1st down for Keller. Any score from Burke Burnett, Donnie?
Trying to find out if we do have a score.
Barry Mahler doing that game tonight on KWFT radio. If you can't make it out here Friday night, Barry will be doing the Coyote Husky game Friday. At the 38-yard line, less than 8 minutes to go now. Rogers rolls left side, pitches back to Sanders. Sanders running wide and gets a couple. Actually 1 to the 37-yard line.
And Rich, excellent support that time by the safety, Scott Avery, coming up.
Scott Avery, 1 in on the tackle. Sean Perez also close by. 2nd down and 9. And give Keller credit for one thing, Donnie. They have been able to move the ball on their 2nd and 3rd drive. Or rather 3rd and 4th, I beg your pardon. At the 37-yard line, double wides to the right side now. That's the bottom of your picture. Rogers rolls this way, coming towards us. He is going to be thrown for a loss.
Ball's loose.
And Ryder has recovered.
They have, and another enormous, gigantic hit by a Ryder Raider. Now we're going to see who
Freeman
did this one.
David Freeman comes up with the recovery, but the big hit is put on by number 10, Chad Jackson.
All right.
And on the turnover, Ryder will get the ball back at their own 44-yard line. The first turnover for Keller. Stoller splits out wide to the top of your picture at the right side. You don't see him, but he is out wide right. Lewis up the middle, now cuts it out to the right side, and a nice tackle by number 34, Orson Duran. Nevertheless, a 4-yard pickup for Mundral. He's got to be over 100 by now, wouldn't you think?
Still no score in that ball game over in Burke Ridge. Burke Burnett just tried a field goal, and Hershey stopped him and takes over their own 10.
If I'm not mistaken, Burke Burnett has to win that game, I think, by more than 10 points tonight. If that District 5 4A race was to end in a 3-way tie. Flanagan with the quarterback keeper rolls left at the 45 and gets across the 45 to the 41. And that will be good enough for a Ryder first down. Ramon Flanagan on the keeper. Said, I want to run the ball a little bit.
Mixing it up a little bit. Mondrell Lewis, 48. Rashad Hickman, 32. Ramon Flanagan, number 8. Everybody taking a turn. Hickman's back in at fullback now for the Raiders. The last drive was Tyrone Wesley.
Flanagan comes to the right side. His second pass of the night. He's got Stoller breaking down the right side, and the pass is a little too overthrown.
Brian Stoller was out there, but as Rich told you, just a little bit too tall on the pass from Ramon Flanagan, or that may have been 6 for the Raiders.
And of course, Wayne LeBlue says he's got a strong arm and has a tendency to throw a little too hard. Second down 10, 6:11 to go before halftime. Ryder still leads 7-0. Stoller again splits out wide to the right. Hickman gets the inside handoff and gets to the 35-yard line, across the 35 to the 34, brought down on the play by 62 David Lola and 19 Keith Morrison. However, a pickup of 6 will bring up 3rd down and 4. Let's call it 3rd and 3. It's a short 3 or a long 2. Much for Mundral here, running wide. Or up the middle, and he'll get the first down as he gets out across the 30 down to the 26-yard line.
Any questions?
Yeah, go outside, go inside. First down, Ryder at the Keller 26. Ryder tries to take advantage of the first Indian gift tonight.
Hey, Mundrell doesn't care whether it's inside or outside. Just show me a hole, and I'm going to hit it. He is
Stoller
quick.
wide right. Again, I formation in the backfield. That's exclusively Ryder tonight. Hickman on the inside handoff. Rashad on his feet at the 20 and across the 20 to the 18 or 17-yard line.
You know, one thing you notice when you watch these Ryder backs?
What's that?
The continuous leg movement. They never stop. And that's so important if you're a running back. Continue that leg drive. Don't stop those legs driving.
Second down and 2 at the 18-yard line. And on 2nd and 2, fumble. Another fumble.
Boy, heads-up play by Mundrell Lewis. Got it back.
Got his own ball back. Tried to come away too soon. And he'll lose a yard. Back to the 19. It will bring up 3rd down and 3. Pat Carnine now splits out well wide to the right side. Stoller slots inside, and Scott Hart is tight left. Pitch back comes to Lewis, running right side. First down at the 15. Montreal to the 10, to the 5.
No.
To the 1. 18 yards on the pickup, and it will be 1st and goal for the home team.
And do you see how well he picks up the holes? He just looks for the opening. Now watch him. You see him make that adjustment, finds it hole, cuts it back up. I'm gonna tell you something.
It looks
He's
like
fun
he
to
ran
watch.
in. It looks like he ran into his own blocking, and that slowed him down just a little bit. Nevertheless, it just prolongs the inevitable. First and goal for Ryder. Flanagan calling signals at the 1-yard line, fumbles the football,
And
and
Keller
it's
got it
recovered
back.
by Keller.
Keller got it. Can you believe it? Once again, mixed up on the exchange for Ryder. Just couldn't get it done. Now watch. He just loses control of the football. Ramon Flanagan. And Keller gets on it.
I think what happens, Donnie, is that as he pulls back from center, the ball hit his leg, and that jarred it loose and caused the fumble, and as a result, Keller dodges the bullet. They play Indian givers and take the ball back. The ball just outside the 5-yard line with 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go before halftime. Ryder not capitalizing on a golden opportunity after a very nice drive.
Got to be able to execute, Rich. You got to get that exchange.
Calvin gets the call and comes out wide to the left side, is tackled by Chad Jackson after a pickup of 8 to the 13-yard line. That was the third Ryder turnover tonight. Flanagan has thrown an interception. Lewis has fumbled. Flanagan just fumbled. Keller has not been able to yet take advantage of any of the 3 turnovers. Rogers now comes to Calvin on the right side, tries to cut it back up, and will be close to the first down at the 16, and more than likely has it, judging by where the linesman is spotting the ball. He needed to get just across the 15-yard line for the first down, and I do believe he will have that, but the referee will say, let's have the chain gang come out and make their first appearance tonight, and so that's what they'll do. Two minutes and 50 seconds to go before halftime. Rashad Hickman scoring on a 17-yard touchdown with 5:08 to go in the first quarter for the only score in the game, but Ryder driving down to the Keller 1-yard line, and then the fumble by Ramon Flanagan, and Keller with the first down. As they're coming back the other way, they are going against the wind. Want to remind you that following tonight's game, Donnie and I will be picking a player of the game, and the player of the game is eligible for Player of the Week awards. The Player of the Week is brought to you by Ballpark Sports and Awards, 4516 Fairway. 696-3213 is the number to call. Talk to Eddie Lavery and say you heard it on WFTV, and thank him for his proud participation in high school football. Rogers pitches back to Calvin. Cuts it back up at the 18, and then he is hit, and hit hard. You see it from ground level. Sean Perez, 38. Rashad Hickman, 32. 71, Alan Tremble. Second quarter at Burke Burnett. Bulldogs 7, Huskies nothing.
Mike Walco just threw an interception, and Burke turned it into 6 points.
At the 20-yard line, after the 4-yard pickup, it is 2nd down and 6. There'll be less than 2 minutes to play before halftime when this play is completed. I formation, backfield. Now Calvin is the second back, and end around to number 32, Anthony Seaton. And Seaton gets a couple of yards to about the 22-yard line. And now Ryder will take a timeout defensively. And I think, Donnie, the thinking here is if we can stop them, we still have the wind at our backs, may have one more opportunity maybe to put 3 points on the board. And we know that when the wind is blowing, Craig Brown is capable of nailing one from beyond 50 yards, as he did on that Saturday afternoon against
Richland.
Help me on that. Richland Hills.
Richland.
Yeah.
Richland Rebels. Yeah, not only will Ryder have the wind at their backs, Rich, but also what they would do here if they can hold on 3rd down, of course, is force Keller to punt into this strong wind, and should come up with decent field position. And then, as you say, if they could drive it down, pick up some additional yardage, and give Craig Brown a chance for 3 if they don't pick up the 6.
We will see what happens. We have 1 minute and 48 seconds to go before halftime, and coming up at halftime, you will see the bands in action. Pride of the Raiders will be performing tonight. They'll also be performing on Saturday night. There's a UIL competition. here at the stadium. Carlton Scherer will come out wide to the right side. He's number 44, bottom left of your picture. 32, Anthony Seton slots inside right. It is Cody Kercheval now leading Calvin in the backfield, and Chad Rogers calling signals will drop and will be thrown.
We think,
across.
yes. There's that guy again, 51,
Ryan
Bagby.
Bagby. That's his third tonight.
Big sack.
And that brings up third down and timeout again for Ryder. That Ryder defensive line is not giving the quarterback time to throw. They are just
and I'll tell you,
splendidly.
The Ryder defense is keeping them in this football game, too.
You see that little chop right there? He had him by the shirt. He goes, come on, you're wasting time here. Boom.
Get down.
Get down with your bad self. Come on.
Get back to a little WWF right there.
I'll tell you, Wayne LeBlue must really like what he is seeing by his defense tonight.
They're playing great football.
Sure are.
The kind of football you're supposed to play on defense, folks. Aggressive, hard-hitting defense.
After the quarterback sack, which I believe is the fourth tonight, it is 4th down 13. Scott Avery drops back in single safety at the Keller 45-yard line. It will be Mackey punting into the wind, gets the ball on one hop, and we're going to have a penalty. Avery will field the ball at the 34, but this will come back. Running into the kicker will be the call, and it is either Scott Saltzman or Terry McClure. Heavy rush put on the kicker.
We have roughing or running into the kicker?
Oh, I think that's got to be simply a running into.
Which is a 5-yard penalty?
Right.
Would not give him the first down.
The ball was at the 13. Well, Donnie, that's the big one. It's roughing. That ball goes from the 13 to the 28, and boy, that's questionable.
Boy, I'll tell you, if that's roughing the kicker, what's running into the kicker? Blowing on him?
Keller with 2 timeouts left and 92 seconds to travel 78 yards, or rather 72 yards. They're at the 28, their own 28. Rogers comes to the right side, pitches back to Sanders. Sanders cuts it back up at the 30 and gets across the 30 to about the 31 or 32-yard line. Tackled on the play by Saltzman and Avery. And the clock will continue to run.
The Ryder still has 1 timeout remaining, Rich.
And there will be less than a minute to play when this next play is run.
If they can stop them here on 2nd down, bring up the 3rd, they'll call a timeout and possibly have a chance to get it back if they can force a punt.
Ball spotted at the 32-yard line, 2nd down and 6, inside of a minute to go until halftime. Sanders got
a loose football. Now you want the timeout.
By Sanders.
Now you want the timeout if you're Ryder, I would think.
This will be 3rd down and 10 as ball comes back to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 28-yard line, and the clock will continue to run with 35 seconds to go.
Well, maybe they don't have any left. I'm looking at the scoreboard, and it shows that they've got 1 left, but maybe that's incorrect.
Well, they've got the 1 timeout left, but given, I think, where the ball is, Donnie, I think they would just as soon let this clock run out and go into the locker room with that 7-0 lead, not want to take a chance on running into the kicker again. It's 3rd and 13. This will more than likely be the final play of the half, and now we have a whistle, and
delay.
I believe too much time. This will be delay Keller.
So now we get the luxury of the clock being stopped, and it won't start until the ball is snapped.
"13 seconds to go. 3rd down now, 18 at the 23. And now we have another timeout.
I think Keller is going to take a timeout.
This will be Keller's 2nd timeout. That leaves them with 1.
Says our scoreboard.
I've been counting. Our final regular high school football game for the regular season, that is, will come up next week when the Coyotes and the Huskies play, and our final college football game of the season also comes up next week as the MSU Indians will take on Hardin-Simmons. And I believe that Skip Donnie and I will do our annual 3 men in the booth. You get a shot of Wayne LeBlue. Gifted conversationalist. Love to listen to that man talk.
Love to hear that Louisiana accent. That Cajun cooking,
I tell you.
nothing better. Crawdads.
The man captivates an audience when he
Doesn't
talks
he?
to you. When he, I've seen him, I've heard him twice.
He's great. He really does. He does capture his audience when he talks.
He's a very good spokesperson
He
for
sure
high school
is.
football, and especially here in Wichita
He
Falls.
really
We're
is.
very, very fortunate to have Wayne LeBlue here. At the 23-yard line, it is 3rd down and 18 with 13 seconds left. It is 7-0 Rider. Rogers to Sanders. Sanders up the middle to about the 29-yard line. With 6 seconds to go, the clock stopped with 5. And it's 4th down, and Ryder takes the timeout, and I guess they'll just send 11 men on this and try to block the punt.
Okay, but you know what I'm doing if I'm Keller?
What are you going to do if you're Keller?
I'm going to take the snap.
Touchdown on one knee and
let the clock run out.
Well,
don't take a chance on the punt being blocked or our punt being returned for a touchdown.
The clock would stop on the change of possession.
Exactly, but what you do, you don't really hit a knee, take the snap, and run back about 10 yards, and you'll eat up to 5 seconds, and you're out of here for half. But who knows, they may snap it deep and elect to try to punt it. I know Coach LeBlue hopes they punt. And I do too. So maybe we can get a return.
Mackey will drop back into punt formation. No one in safety coverage for the Raiders, although Scott Avery is about 7 or 8 yards off the line, but they're going to rush 10. Here they come. And he does get the kick away, and that will do it for the half. The ball will drop at the 45-yard line, and that will do it for the first half. Rashad Hickman scores on a 17-yard touchdown run with 5:08 to go in the first quarter. Ryder has turned the ball over 3 times. But they still lead as we go to the locker room at halftime. The score is Ryder 7 and Keller nothing. The high school bands come up at halftime. The Pride of the Raiders will be featured. We'll have some stats for you in the second half of tonight's game coming up after this. You're watching the high school football game of the week on WFTV, and once again tonight, and what is it? The Raiders marching band leaves the field after having put on a splendid performance here at halftime, and they head to UIL competition on Saturday, and we wish them the very, very best. Our score at halftime is Ryder 7, Keller nothing. A game that the Raiders need to win in order to keep playoff hopes alive. And let us show you how we got to this 7-0 halftime score. First, we'll take a look at some stats, and that will show you how we got here at least. Or we can look at the touchdown. Ricky, I'll leave that up to you. If you want to show us the touchdown, that's up to you. Donnie?
He does want to show us the touchdown, and here it comes. Raymond Flanagan will give it to Rashad Hickman right here. Look at him spin out of that tackle. Cuts to the outside, now cuts it back to the inside. Touchdown, Rashad Hickman.
That made the score 6-0 with 5:08 to go in the first quarter, and Craig Brown nailed the point after as the Raiders take the field for the second half. Our halftime statistics will bear out one very glaring stat, and that is, of course, the rushing yardage favoring Ryder by over 100 yards. And as a matter of fact, Mondraw Lewis has carried the ball 12 of those 21 times for 139 of those 183 yards. Donnie, the rest of the numbers.
There you go. Passing, of course, Ryder has not picked up any yards at all through the air. Keller 29 yards. And let's look at the punts. Ryder yet to punt. Keller's punted twice for an average of 25.5. Penalties are about the same. Both teams penalized twice. Ryder been penalized for a total of 25 yards. Keller for 10 yards. But the difference, the last stat, turnovers. Ryder's turned it over 3 times. Keller twice. But, Rich, to go along with those 3 turnovers, it's where they've occurred. And that's what has killed Ryder tonight so far in the first half.
Ryder had the ball first and goal at the 1-yard line when Ramon Flanagan fumbled. That was his second turnover. He had earlier thrown an interception. In all, Ryder has fumbled 4 times tonight, lost 2. Keller has fumbled 3 times tonight and lost 2. And, of course, the 1 interception on Flanagan's first pass of the game. Standout players so far, in addition to Montrell Lewis, specifically on Ryder's defense, we've had an excellent game played tonight, turned in so far tonight by Brian Bagby, who has gotten to the quarterback a couple
51.
times. Of course, another steady performance by number 74, Scott Salzman.
Chad Jackson, number 10, has played well. And then offensively, you got to mention several people. Rashad Hickman, Montrell Lewis, Ramon Flanagan.
Another delightful weather night for football. We've got a generally fair to occasionally partly cloudy sky, and it is 57 degrees right now. Craig Brown will kick off with the wind. So that means that Keller will have the wind in the 4th quarter.
And, Rich, this could be our last comfortable evening for quite some time if the weather forecasters are correct. Got a change in the weather coming.
There certainly is. Anthony Seaton and Chad Sanders are back deep to receive Craig Brown's second half kickoff. Our halftime stats and highlight brought to you by Pinocchio's Pizza. Give them a call. They're located on Kemp, 855, or rather 696-3333, and out on Shepherd Access Road, 855-6353. Brown nails this kick in the end zone. Seaton drops it. It goes beyond the end line, and it will be a touchback. 1st and 10, Keller at their own 20-yard line.
And this would be a great time, as Rich said, to call Pinocchio's and get that pizza to go or pizza delivered to your home and enjoy the second half of this football game on WFTV.
And while we have the opportunity, let us again remind, following the game, Donnie and I will be picking a player of the game, and the player of the game is eligible for Player of the Week honors, brought to you by Ballpark Sports and Awards, located at 4516 Fairway.
Mr. Eddie Lavery.
Craig Rogers is the quarterback to start the 3rd quarter. And on 1st down, he pitches back to Calvin. Calvin tries to run the left side and is run out of bounds at about the 22 or 23-yard line. Run out of bounds by number 51. There's that man again, Brian Bagby. Also in on the tackle was Chad Jackson. It will be 2nd down and 8.
He's going to have to be maybe one of the guys we consider for our player of the game tonight, right. Bagby, number 51. Made 2 important quarterback sacks for Ryder.
Refresh my memory, who did we have as our player of the game from the Coyote game? Was it
Michael Vaughn?
Michael Vaughn, okay. On 2nd down, again, the pitch back to Calvin, and Calvin gets a couple to the 24-yard line. Will bring up 3rd down 6.
And you know what's going to be
close to the 25-yard line to make it 3rd and 5.
I'm just going to say what's going to be interesting here is this is a 3rd down situation. Ryder can hold him here, force the punt, should get good field position, Rich, because again, as they ended the first half, Keller going against that wind, then they'll have to punt into that wind. So if Ryder can hold them here on this 3rd down 6 situation, they should get decent field position with the wind at their back.
Robert Mackey will split out wide to the right side. Everybody else is tight in the middle. I formation in the backfield, and Rogers will throw. He rolls to the right side, being chased by Jackson, and
just throws it away. Number
38, Sean Perez, and so he just does this wise thing, and he throws it away, and that'll bring up 4th down 5. It is apparent to us, at least, that the Keller offensive line is no match for the Ryder defensive up front men tonight.
The wars in the trenches are being won by the Ryder Raiders.
On both sides?
Yes, sir. Offensively, they've opened some good holes for the backs, Lewis and Hickman, Flanagan, and defensively, they're whipping Keller in the trenches, too.
Mackey will stand at his 12-yard line. Avery drops back to his 48. A flag on the play. This will be offsides or procedure. The punt will fall at midfield and will be downed by number 1, and unfortunately, that is a player whose name we do not have. Let's check the flag.
It is against Keller. And I imagine will be declined. It is. That's a new way of brushing it off, isn't it? So we said decent, that they should end up with decent field position, Rich, and they do. They'll take over at the midfield stripe.
And again,
almost on the downhill side, aren't they?
And again, yes, again working with the wind here in the 3rd quarter. And a 7-0 lead. And as well as their defense is playing tonight, Donnie, 7 points may be enough to win this game. But let's not make it too close for comfort, okay? Rashad Hickman, the fullback, leading Mondraw Lewis. Ramon Flanagan calling signals at midfield. Lewis gets the call up the middle, 5 yards to the 45. Jared Morgan, 54, in on the tackle. Second down, 5 yards to go. Chad Jackson is now in as one tight end, Thad Carnine the other. Brian Stoller splits out to the top of your picture. He is that man that just beyond that 0 at the 50-yard line. Flanagan to Hickman. Hickman stays on his feet and will get about 4 to near the 41-yard line. Rashad Hickman able to make something out of what should have been nothing, and this will bring up 3rd and short. 3rd and about 1.5 yards. Watch Rashad Hickman as he gets the ball, and you see that he had nowhere there, so he cut it to the left side and was able to pick up, we'll call it 3 yards as they spot the ball at the 42, and it's 3rd and 2 for Ryder. Double wide outs to the left side. Stoller slots inside of Carnine. Mondraw Lewis gets the call, and he will be close to the first down as he goes over on his back. And he does have the first down, and that will be the 9th first down for Ryder.
And as it is so many times, depends on the spot. And Rich, they're not